One sunny afternoon found me standing outside the flower shop hesitant. I was torn, unsure which flower to buy, unsure which would make grandmother the happiest. At last I had saved up enough money to purchase flowers from the store. All those nights of going hungry would finally be worth it. I was in high spirits, excited for the gorgeous bouquet my money could afford. Red, white, pink, purple, yellow. The flower shop was awash in colors. Personally, I was partial to red.
Really?
After all, it was the same color as the riding hood grandmother had given me. And in my eyes, that made it a special color. My attention was drawn to the roses, which stood out among the rest of the red blooms.
I figured it was going to be roses. When he said that he didn't like roses, I'm like, let me guess, you got her roses on the day that grandmother died, probably. That's probably where we're going with this, isn't it? Well, we should be getting some answers. Prepare your tissues and stuff, I guess, but here we go.
I was by no means an expert in flowers, but roses were familiar at least. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford a full bouquet of them when the price for even a single rose was exorbitant.
Maybe I should keep saving up.
I could afford to wait, after all. Just then, someone called out to me.
Mom? No, it's the boy. Phew. Aha! I found you! What are you doing here? I've been searching for you!
Oh.
How's it hanging, Red? What you up to?
It was unusual of him to track me down.
Nothing much.
Well, whatever. Say, let's go to the lake!
The lake? Sure, I don't mind.
And so, at my friend's insistence, we headed to the lake where we first met. There, he told me that he'd gotten into an argument with grandmother.
You did?
Yeah.
But you guys are so close.
Not my fault she's such a nag. I keep telling her I'm fine, but she never lets me do anything.
But that's only because she cares about you.
I know that!
According to him, they'd gotten into an argument over a small trifle, leading him to run away from home.
I just want to play outside, that's all. I want to run super fast and go see faraway places. I don't want to be stuck here twiddling my thumbs forever.
I felt sorry for him. He was born with a weak constitution that made strenuous physical activity dangerous.
You're so lucky. I wish I was strong like you.
Huh?
I always wanted to be a lone wolf. Rational and smart and self-reliant. But at this rate, I'll never be. I wish I was you.
I was startled to hear this. I never imagined he would ever say such a thing. Unlike me, he had everything. He was smart and confident and extroverted and rich. The more I learned about him, the more he felt like he was from a different world entirely. And yet now he claimed he wished he was me. It was simply unbelievable.
Good thing I met you, or else my life would be pretty boring right about now.
This is fun?
Of course! Talking to you is always a blast. It's great.
He dismissed my doubts with a laugh.
Guess what, bud? You're hanging out with me all day today. We're gonna make that tree fort. I brought all my favorite stuff from home. You want to see it, right? Don't you? Right?
Yeah.
And so I agreed to his proposal. Was it because I'd seen a new side of him? Was I tickled by the thought of him envying me? I couldn't say. But if only I'd had the sense to stop him then, things never would have turned out the way they did.
Don't stop there. Whew. I was like, we have to do one more flashback. Come on. Just
Tell me how the whole horrible thing happened, please.
We decided to build our tree fort deep in the woods. Meanwhile, I kept watch to ensure he didn't overexert himself. First, we collected tree branches, cardboard boxes, and other materials. Then I climbed up our chosen tree and used rope to affix them per my friend's instructions. According to him, this was how tree forts were made. Time flew by, and soon the sun began to set.
We hit the jackpot!
In our search for materials, we came across a large quantity of wooden planks. As we were hauling them back, however, we heard sirens in the distance.
Wonder what all the fuss is about.
Oh no, is it an ambulance on your way to your grandma's? Ugh.
Dunno.
Just then I got a really bad feeling. Dread crept into my heart.
Why don't we call it a day here and go back home?
Aw, come on! You promised you'd stay with me all day today, remember? A sacred vow, man to man!
Yes, I remember.
Then we're staying!
Fine.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I found something cool at the lake!
What is it?
This something cool was a blue tarp floating on the lake's surface. Neither of us knew what it was doing there. Maybe it was blown there by the wind.
See that? We could use that to keep the rain off!
But it's so far out there. We can't go into the lake to get it.
We just need a long enough stick or something.
Positioning himself on the very end of the lake pier, he used a tree branch to attempt to reel the tarp in.
Oh no, he fell in, didn't he? But he's still alive now, so he didn't die here. Does Red think he died? Did he panic and, like, run away? Did he go to Grandma for help, and then Grandma was done? That would be horrible. That better not be what happened.
Unfortunately, the tarp was at the mercy of the lake's tide, which pulled it back and forth.
Just a little farther!
Don't push yourself. I'll do it.
No, I can do it myself!
With a firm hold on his calves to keep him from falling in, I kept a close eye on him. Thank God I found you!
Oh, okay. It was not Grandma. I thought it was Grandma coming to find us. I'm like, oh, good.
Just then, a hard-eyed man came dashing out of the forest. Look for a boy in a riding hood. You must be Wolf.
Whoa!
The man grabbed me by the arm. Your grandmother's collapsed. She's being taken to the hospital as we speak.
No, you got the wrong kid.
She's been asking for you the whole time. Hurry up and get over there.
Grip!
Oh, no! Oh gosh, did he have to choose? Was he like, I can either save my friend, or maybe the man was like, you go, I'll save this kid. And he like couldn't explain that there was a mix-up, and he was worried about Grandma oh no.
Just then, there was a loud splash.
Help me!
My friend had slipped and fallen into the lake. Because he was forbidden from most physical activity, naturally he didn't know how to swim. The man whipped off his jacket. Unsure what to do, I just stood there. You need to get going! Your grandma's waiting for you! He gave me a little push.
But...
I was torn between my friend drowning right in front of me, and grandmother who had allegedly been whisked away to the hospital after a fraction of a second. I turned my back on my friend and took off running.
I mean, that is such a hard situation to be in. I wouldn't... Like, how do you, as a kid, as a small kid, how do you explain to a grown-up that they've made... It's like, no, you got the wrong kid when they're also distracted by the fact that now there's a drowning child in the lake. And they're like, I delivered my message, you gotta go. Like, what? Oh, man.
Grandmother!
When I arrived, I found grandmother lying in a hospital bed.
Why?
I didn't understand what had happened. Just yesterday, she was the very picture of health. But today, she stared blankly up at the ceiling, her face pale and lifeless.
Oh, no. Of course. Of course. Why didn't I think of the stupid fairy tale? Yes, of course. She got sick. I'm sorry. I'm like playing the whole fairy tale out in my head. Like, I can see through the matrix now. She got sick, goes to hospital, the big bad wolf comes, and she's like, who's there? She's like, what big paws you have? What big ears you have? Oh my goodness. But he's like a combination of the two, right? He's Little Red and the wolf. Man. Okay, well, let's do this. We can get through this.
Who's there? Is that you, little wolf?
Evidently her eyes weren't working, or else she would have known it was me.
Yeah. It's me, Grandma.
No. I really can't blame him, though, for pretending to be her grandson, because I'm like, he wanted to be her grandson, and then, you know, she's dying. Like, oh man, this sucks.
I lowered my voice to try to sound more like my friend.
Yes, your friend has a very deep voice. Canonically.
Well now. Thank you for coming, sweetheart.
I was just really worried about you and stuff.
I'm sorry to frighten you, dearie.
Tears poured from her unseeing eyes. The sight made my own eyes grow hot, but I blinked back the tears and focused on my act.
He's really trying. Woo.
No kidding, dude. I was super worried and stuff.
I was worried about you, too. I'm so sorry for everything that I said. I was inconsiderate of your feelings.
No. You did nothing wrong, Grandma. It was my fault. All of it. Because I'm a bad kid.
That's not true, sweetheart. No one thinks that. You're a precious angel, and I'm proud to call you my grandson.
Grandma. I'm sorry, Grandma. I love you lots and lots, honest.
I love you too, Wolf. I wish I could always be around to protect you. I'm sorry.
Don't talk like that. We're gonna be together forever, and I'm gonna get stronger. Don't you want to see me when I'm all grown up? I know you do. I'll run fast and swim, and I'll even climb trees like nobody's business. So please, don't leave me.
I choked out the words through my sobs. This was more proof that I was a bad kid. I was supposed to be a stand-in for my friend, but instead I was telling her my own feelings.
Oh, that's right. I bought you some flowers, Grandma. You like flowers, right?
Flowers?
Yeah, not some stupid wildflowers either. They're real flowers from the flower shop.
I showed her the bouquet I had hastily purchased on my way here.
They're called carnations.
Okay, so he did end up getting her carnations instead of roses.
Carnations were similar to roses, except softer and less intimidating. Much like grandmother herself.
Well, now, I'll bet they look just beautiful.
Yeah, really pretty.
Standing at her bedside, I took her hand and brushed it against the flowers. The red petals formed the perfect backdrop for her wizened old hand.
Oh, you're right. They're beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart. You're an angel. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
She smiled softly and closed her eyes. I don't remember much of what happened after that. I'm not sure what happened to grandmother or how I got home from the hospital. I just remember standing outside my house. This time the lights were on inside. Was my mother home? By that point it was late at night. She must have realized that I disobeyed her. Would she yell at me? Would she cry?
I'm home.
When I opened the door, I found my answer. It was then that I understood my mother wasn't going to yell at me, nor would she hug me. She looked at me with cold, unfeeling eyes. And after that day, she never came home again.
Damn. What is the story with your mom? Like, I've been wondering if she was, fooled by a wolf that she thought loved her, and then she had a son who's, now part wolf, and she was, trying to turn him into this thing. But she never did get over her hatred towards wolves. I don't know. We might not ever find out, but damn, that's cold.
Dear Lord, where did I go wrong? If I had obeyed my mother, if I had never ventured outside, if I had never spoken with that wolf, maybe this tragedy could have been averted. But now I am alone. Now I have no one. No one needs me. This is only natural, of course, because this is my punishment for being bad.
From now on, I'll never wander off again.
That was the vow I made to myself.
How did you survive? Because your mom was giving you money for food and you were a kid. Alone in this house. What did you do? Well, that was just depresso espresso right there.
Miss Arisu. Eureka.
All I call us by our first name.
Whoa!
When I opened my eyes, I found Red blushing beet red. Did I fall asleep? Oh, sorry. Guess I nodded off for a minute there.
No, it's fine. No problem at all.
His behavior struck me as suspicious, but at the same time it was pretty par for the course where he was concerned, so I wasn't too worried. I looked around to find that the bright light of midday had now faded to twilight. Gosh, it's gotten late. Guess I got a little too comfy.
As I recall, you were planning to visit your friend's house, yes?
Yeah, I want to check on him. Red lifted his head out of my lap and got to his feet. He offered a hand to help me up, immediately retracted it, then offered it again, more timidly this time. Not gonna find a big branch?
Here.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
He turned his flushed face away from me. Thank you. With his large masculine hand, he held me up onto my feet.
No, let's be on our way. This area isn't safe at night.
Okay. The house marked on the map was a good 30-minute walk from the lake into the woods. It's supposed to be around here. I swiveled my head all around, but it was a forest. All the trees looked the same, so I had no landmarks to go by. Does this seem familiar? Red followed half a step behind me. He seemed to have gotten quiet. Whoa! I slipped in some mud and nearly lost my balance, but Red caught me before I fell.
Please be careful. The ground is slippery around here.
Sorry about that. Thanks for the help. He let go of my arm and walked ahead of me.
Follow along behind me, please.
He didn't bother to turn back as he spoke. Normally, I would be touched by his thoughtfulness, but his voice was cold and distant, like it was back when we first met. Okay. And so I slowly followed in his footsteps. Yep. Is this the place? Eventually, we arrived at a single cottage deep in the forest. Red stopped short, staring at the ground. I walked past him and right up to the front door. At my feet lay a single red flower. A carnation. It was bright and healthy looking, almost like it was fresh from the flower shop. I turned back to find Red still staring down at the ground. I wonder if he didn't know where her grave was, so he would leave carnations at this house. That'd be weird. Oh, man. I scooped up the carnation and knocked on the door. Is anyone home? But no matter how hard I knocked, no one answered. For a moment, I thought perhaps we had the wrong place, but this was the only house in the vicinity. Hesitantly, I twisted the doorknob. Strangely enough, it was unlocked. The lights were all off, but the moonlight streaming in through the window faintly illuminated the interior. As I peered inside, out of nowhere, someone clapped a hand over my mouth. Well, this escalated quickly. Woo! They wrapped their arms around me, pinning me in place. Then, before I could even scream, they dragged me off somewhere. Red? I know that this is like a very heavily emotional spot for you, but help? This is what you're here for. Hello? How did you get me out of there without him finding me?
He's like, man, she's in there for a long time.
Oh, well, doop doop. What a great place for an ambush, though.
I didn't visit grandmother's house again until well after the hospital incident had passed. One day, I found myself standing right outside. Instantly, my face stiffened. Why did I come here? Didn't I promise myself I wouldn't do this anymore? I cursed myself 1,000 times. Suddenly, I felt the contents of my stomach rush up my throat, and I vomited there on the spot. Oh. The pain made tears prick at the corners of my eyes. But no one was there to help me. No surprise there, of course. This was my punishment. I collapsed to my knees and gasped for breath as I stared at the house. On first glance, it seemed much the same as always, but upon further inspection, I realized it had lost its lived-in feel. Somehow, even a total idiot like myself was still smart enough to understand what that meant. Grandmother was gone. And so was my friend. It was then that I understood. The real punishment was the searing pain I felt in my chest at that moment. And I needed to accept it. Which is why I returned there again. Until then, I had been avoiding the lake and the forest, but after that day I started making an active effort to visit that house. With each visit I remembered all the fun times we had, and my heart threatened to burst. At some point, I developed a tradition of placing a single red carnation at the front door each time.
Dang.
It was a symbol of my crime, as well as a token of my apologies.
Yeah, this is like a self-inflicted penance he's trying to do now. Sheesh.
A year passed. Then 2. Then 3. As it turns out, time is a scary thing. You see, the more time passed, the more I felt my memories fade. Then a few more years passed. And I finally spotted that hard-eyed man again, Ryoshi, the hunter.
Oh, it was our brother! Wait. Okay, so I guess it makes sense, like, the huntsman would be there for the whole Grandma Wolf Red Riding Hood shtick. So he knows who he is. Does he know that that's our brother?
Well, things are getting interesting.
We're at Cinderella's cafe now? Wait. Ow! That hurts! Quit yanking so hard!
Pipe down, all right. Be a good girl and wait here.
Whoa! He shoved me from behind, and I toppled to the floor like a sack of potatoes. Ow! With no time to brace myself, I hit the floor hard.
Whoops. Sorry.
I glared up at him. He didn't look very sorry at all. Wait! What? Brother! Wait, I know you don't like me very much, but can we talk about this? Well, that was a twist I wasn't expecting. What's your motive in all this? I don't understand you. What is happening? The only two people that have, like, invested emotions in this is Wolf and Red. You were just, like... You made a mistake. I don't know if you are aware you made a mistake, but I don't know how that involves me. Are you, like, trying to cover up a mistake you made so you don't get knocked out of the Hunters Guild or whatever it is? That's weird. Okay, let's keep going. He leaned against the wall and returned my gaze with his almond-shaped eyes. Why are you doing this?
Just a little insurance to make sure you won't act out of line. You're our hostage, after all.
Here in this forest cottage, my captor was none other than Mr. Huntsman. Okay, so we're in the cottage. It's just the room looks familiar because we're reusing assets, but that's fine. So we're in the cottage, okay. He reached into his pocket, took out a pack of cigarettes, and set one between his lips. No smoking!
You won't even let me have one, will you?
Nope. Not now, not ever. With guys like him, you have to take a hardline approach. Holding the cigarette between his fingers, Mr. Huntsman let out a shallow sigh.
Red Riding Hood is out there looking for you.
He is?
This has turned into one huge hassle thanks to you. I'm sure you know better, but just to be clear, don't set one foot outside of here. See ya.
And with that cold, unfeeling comment, he shut the door. Did you lock it? You didn't even tie me up? You're just like, don't leave. Or else... ... Now that I was alone... After being told to stay put, you decide to... Save. That's what I decided to do. I don't know if he would come. But why would he just leave me untied? That's so stupid. Well, we're impulsive and impetuous, so probably we would leave. We never do what we're told. Let's hope well, we shouldn't die. Mr. Wizard should save us in any eventuality, but hopefully this is the right call. Slowly, quietly, I reach for the doorknob. Whoa! Well.
What are you doing? Good grief.
The door opened so suddenly that I fell back onto the floor. I tried to play innocent, but it was clear he had seen right through my little act. He fixed me with a cold stare that clearly conveyed how much of an idiot he thought I was. Then I noticed he had dragged someone else in with him.
While I was at it, I decided to bring your little bodyguard to keep watch.
Emotional roller coaster, because between like the sadness of grandma and finding out like the whole twist on the Red Riding Hood tale, and then like, so your brother was the wolf and he's kidnapped you at grandma's house. Oh, and also Alice has finally appeared. Where did you find this boy? Oh my goodness, I'm dying. Oh. Okay. Okay, well, hi Alice, it's been a hot minute. If you bring the wizard in next, please, by all means, just stuff him in here with me, it's great.
Ow, 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 ow! Let go, you brute! I'll sue you for trespassing! Right, you do that.
This other guy had blonde hair and blue eyes.
Figured I'd just grab the guy from the room next door. He ought to keep you company, at least.
Wait, we are in the cottage, right? Or are we not? Are we actually at Cinderella's and he's still living here? I'm so confused. Gah! Flung into the room like meat to the dogs, the blonde guy promptly face planted on the floor. Ow.
God damn it. I'll get you for this, you heartless, cold-blooded nicotine addict!
That was a pretty good insult. I approve of that one. Are you okay? At this, the guy leapt to his feet, clutched his swollen nose, and whirled to face me.
Are you brain dead? Are you remotely capable of thinking for yourself? No, I'm not okay! Who do you think you are, some kind of helpless damsel in distress? Now there's a cliché women really hate. God damn, my nose hurts.
Looks like you don't have a nosebleed. That's a relief.
Huh. A fragile beauty such as myself would never be caught dead with a nosebleed. Those are reserved for pubescent brats, closet perverts, or joke characters. Oh.
Just then, a stream of red descended from the fragile beauty's nostril. Also, damn, he really went after red there, didn't he? Oh my goodness, hello. I've never seen that look on your face before, Alice. All right, settle down. Come sit over here. As he squealed unintelligibly, I took him by the arm and sat him down. I grabbed the box of tissues off the shelf and pressed one to his nose. Just sit tight until it stops, okay?
If you think that's enough to earn my undying gratitude, think again. I'm not stupid enough to fall for your little ploy. I refuse to owe anyone anything, and I refuse to repay any favors. You want gratitude? Thank you very much. There, now we're even.
He may have talked a big game, but none of it was very intimidating with a tissue up his nose. You're welcome. I giggled and sat down next to him. So, what's your name?
Why should I tell you? And for the record, numbskull, I'm not gonna do the stupid, give me your name and I'll give you mine shtick with you, so don't even try.
Okay then, can I call you A?
Excuse me? Hell no! Just because you don't know my name doesn't mean you get to give me a new one. Why do you think they invented second-person pronouns?
I want to know how she picked A out of her hat.
If you don't know someone's name, you can just say, hey you, or you there instead. That's the whole point! But most infuriating of all, that nickname isn't actually all that far off.
Oh, really? So does your name start with A?
I'm not going to sit here and play 20 questions with you, so I'll just tell you. I am the great Lord Alice.
Lord Alice, I see. Alice? What a coincidence! My name is actually really similar. It's...
Yes, I already know, thank you. It's Arisu, yes.
Seikai! I shot him the finger guns! But how did you know?
Why wouldn't I know? It's only natural, is it not? Use that empty brain of yours and think back on everything that's happened. You already introduced yourself to me, remember?
In this moment, or in the abyss between worlds? Now I gotta go back to the beginning of this conversation and be like, I don't think I said anything about my name being Arisu. But I did to you in the world between worlds, so I don't remember, but you remember?
Interesting. Now then, I'm tired of dealing with you, so I'm going to sleep.
Alice promptly flung himself down and pulled the blanket over his head. Imagine being kidnapped, thrown into a room with a semi-stranger, and just being like, I'm going to bed. Like, man, I'm impressed. What? Hey, wait! I thought you were supposed to keep me company! And he's just like, I'm gone. I shook him by the shoulder. Lord Alice!
God, will you shut up? You're so annoying! Who the hell do you think you are?
A damsel in distress? He looked at me like I was pond scum. He does that a lot.
Huh. If you think you're some kind of princess in a tower, then you ought to be bound and gagged. I'm sure all the masochist girls would go nuts for that.
Damn, you didn't have to call me out like that.
And if it gets you to shut up, it's a win in my book.
But I'm not a masochist.
I know, you're a massive sadist. But if you want to be the heroine, then you better start acting like one. Why do you think princesses get kidnapped so often? Because they're frail? Because they have some kind of special power? No. They exist to enable the male character to be the hero.
True that. He was completely right. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten my role in this. I'm so confused about who knows what and where and why and what the timeline is. But I guess we'll just roll with it for now. I got up and opened the window. A frigid breeze blew in. It must be my boy. Pressing my wind-blown hair down, I responded to his wordless gaze. I just can't help but worry that he's out there, hurt and suffering. All for my sake. To me, it doesn't matter how cliché it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't give a crap about your barf-worthy tragic heroine routine. So shut the damn window! Now! It's freezing!
Fine. So much for our dramatic conversation.